Hi, welcome to this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody out there. Sunday, March 17th. Basketball slate for us. A lot of stuff going on today. We're going to finish up with college basketball conference tournaments. There's a whole whopping 5 of those. Decent-sized NBA slate. Then we'll get into Selection Sunday. And we get into the craziest week in sports, which is the first weekend of the NCAA tournament going on next week. Also, baseball starts up next week, so a lot of stuff going on here. Even UFL, which is the spring football, starts at the end of the month. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. We're going to be coming to you here, too, with our season-long baseball show coming up soon here in the next day or two before the season gets started up with the Dodgers and Padres in Seoul, South Korea. So we will get started today here with college basketball, then get into the NBA. First game up, 9 o'clock here in Phoenix, noon Eastern, Yale Brown. We don't have a play on this game with the line at 7.5. We do like Yale here, though, to win the game. That number around 7 to 8, I think is probably where the game's going to end. But we do like Yale, but we're going to stick away from that one at the moment. We will get on to the 10 o'clock Phoenix game, 1 o'clock Eastern. A10 final, Duquesne, VCU. And to be really honest, in this one here, we've been on VCU the whole tournament. Duquesne kind of a surprise yesterday, I thought. Big win for them there. But we do like VCU in this particular match. Now the line has moved. The line was 1.5 or 2.5. Now it's down to 1.5 at some spots, but we still like VCU minus the 2.5. So VCU minus 1.5 first half and minus 2.5 for the game. One more time, VCU minus 1.5 first half and minus 2.5 for the game. Next game up, same time slot, 10 o'clock out here in Phoenix, 1 o'clock Eastern. The SEC Conference Tournament Championship game, Florida, Auburn. Florida, a lot of injuries at the start of the season, but man, they have come on strong this last month plus. Auburn been a solid team all season long. Lost out on the regular season SEC Championship to Tennessee, but Auburn's been a solid team. Are they a Final Four team? I'm not quite sure of that. Are they a team that can definitely make the Sweet 16? I would foresee Auburn getting there. I think Florida might actually, it'd be surprising. They might make a little bit better run if they can continue to shoot well. They have, I think, a little bit better defense in that retrospect, and Florida can get up and run. They multiple paths to victory for them. They can play a slow physical game. They can play a up-tempo game. But that being said, let's focus on here on the SEC Championship. Florida has been on a heater. We think they continue it today. We're going to take the points, and we're also going to play money line in this game. So Florida plus 2.5 first half, and then also Florida money line first half. Florida plus 5.5 for the game, and also Florida money line for the game. So one more time, Florida Auburn. Florida plus 2.5 first half, also money line first half. Florida money line for the game and plus 5.5 for the game as well. Next game up, Temple UAB. Don't we remember when this game went off and that line moved from like 2 to 9 and there was going to be an investigation and UAB still won 100-72? Okay, all right. Now, UAB a 7.5 point favorite here. I don't see much change. I think UAB's got way too many athletes for Temple here. I think they can push this to the max. I honestly believe UAB wins by 15 plus in this one here. So give us UAB in this mess here. So in this game, we'll take minus 3.5 first half, and we got them at minus 6.5 for the game. One more time, UAB minus 3.5 first half and minus 6.5 for the game. Next game up. In the last game of the day, 12:30 out here in Phoenix, a 3:30 Eastern, Wisconsin, Illinois, to finish up the conference tournament games. Big Ten championship, conference tournament championship. Wisconsin's been on fire, knocked off Purdue yesterday in overtime. Illinois, I'm not going to say they've struggled, but the games have been a little bit tighter probably than what Illinois planned on them being here. But Wisconsin just seems like they're going to shoot 50+% from the field and from three this whole damn tournament. So we're going to ride with the Wisconsin in the hot hand here. Think they get it for one more day. Now you got to remember, this was a top 10 team earlier in the country, and then went an absolute nosedive. They seem to have found something again here, but we're going to take Wisconsin plus 1.5 first half, as well as money line first half, and Wisconsin plus 3.5 for the game, as well as money line for the game. So one more time, Wisconsin plus 1.5 first half, money line first half, Wisconsin plus 3.5 for the game, also Wisconsin money line for the game. So that'll wrap up college basketball Sunday. Let's get on to the NBA slate here. First game out of the chute, 10-10 out here in Phoenix, so 1:10 Eastern. Suns go to the Bucks. Line has moved a little bit. We did hit the Bucks a little bit earlier at 2.5. Now it looks like it's at 3 at some spots. Let's just be brutally honest here. Both of these teams are wildly inconsistent, might be the best way to put it. Both teams have not played, I would call, extremely well as of late. The Suns hitting this meaty part of the schedule that, they needed to have a big-time record early in order to stay out of the play-in tournament. But they look like they're headed for a 7-8 seed, the way the schedule's kind of wrapping up with them. They lost 2 against the Celtics. And then they got the Bucks today. The Suns with the big three. Beal, I don't know what. Well, let's put it this way. So here's a couple things with the Suns. First of all, they are the worst fourth quarter team in the NBA. Point differential wise, they get their butts handed to them in the fourth quarter on a consistent basis. It's ugly. Defensively wise, the only thing you can say positive about the defense is Nurkic over the last month has been the biggest, baddest beast on the boards for the Suns and in the NBA over this last probably 30+ days. He's been outstanding on that part. Bradley Beal's played well ever since Booker has come back from injury again. It's been a little off, it seems like. Kevin Durant continues to struggle shooting the ball. Grayson Allen for the Suns. Don't know if you're aware of this one, but he does lead the NBA in three-point field goal percentage coming from the Bucks. So maybe a little bit of a spot go back here. I'll be really honest with you. This game's kind of got me torn both sides. The Bucks struggled on this last road trip, but they were playing extremely well before that. We're back at home here. The Suns play probably a little bit better on the road than they do at home, amazingly enough. But I don't know if the other thing is Chris Middleton coming back today for the Bucks as well. Giannis was still on the injury report, his game time decision. Malik Beasley on the injury report, his game time decision. I'll be really honest here. It was kind of tight for us. If the line would have been 5, we probably would have took the Suns. But this low number, we're going to ride with the home team and the Bucks here. I don't think the Suns are a better team than the Bucks. And the way they've got this priced, with only 2.5 to 3, and the Bucks being at home, they have this price that the Suns are the better team. So I think a little bit off there on the line there. So Bucks -0.5 first quarter, plus -1 first half, -2.5 for the game. Bradley Beal, who we've liked quite a bit, he had a little bit of a blip in the last game, but it's just because they got such a big lead, and then they got kind of all out of funk. Over 18.5 points. 2 plus threes, over 28.5 par as well on that one. Then we like Giannis over 31.5 points. Giannis over 50.5 par. Giannis 12 plus rebounds. And Giannis over 2.5 turnovers. And he's been turning the ball over at an alarming rate as of late. Last game against the Suns, he turned the ball over 5 times. So only having to get to 3 here. Loving that play there as well. Then Josef Nurkic, over 12.5 rebounds, 14 plus rebounds, and 16 plus rebounds. So one more time, let's go through these bets on the Bucks-Suns game. So Bucks -0.5 first quarter, -1 first half, -2.5 for the game. Bradley Beal over 18.5 points, 2 plus threes, over 28.5 par. Giannis over 31.5 points, over 50.5 par, and 12 plus rebounds. And then over 2.5 turnovers. And then Yusuf Nurkic for the Suns, over 12.5 rebounds, 14 plus rebounds, and 16 plus rebounds. Next game up on the schedule, 12:10 out here in Phoenix, so 3:10 Eastern. Heat at the Pistons. This is a series game. Last two games here, the two games in Detroit. Teams going against each other. Heat were an 8.5-point favorite in the last one and covered. And today only a 5.5. Line's down to 5.5 on this one here. Cade Cunningham had once again just real passive in the last game. Jalen Duren had a fantastic game for him. Simon Fontecchio had a really good game for him. But Miami just played better. Adebayo had a good game last game. Duncan Robinson, we're going to go back and look at this here, but didn't have any player props for Duncan when we went through and made our bets here. But we're going to stay away from the side in the total on this back-to-back matchup, but we do have quite a few player props we like, so let's get started with those. Jalen Duren, 15-plus points, 12-plus rebounds, 14-plus rebounds, and 1-plus block. And then Fontecchio, 15-plus points, 3-plus threes, and 4-plus threes. One more time in this Pistons Heat matchup, and make sure you do check out the Google Sheets at the end of the show, because I almost guarantee we're going to have some additional things in this particular game here. So Duren for the Pistons, 15-plus points, 12-plus rebounds, 14-plus rebounds, 1-plus block. Fontecchio for the Pistons as well, 15-plus points, 3-plus threes, 4-plus threes in that game there. Next game up on the schedule, Nuggets. Go to Dallas. Nuggets 4-point favorite, 12:40 here in Phoenix, so 3:40 Eastern. Nuggets a 4-point favorite in Dallas, 229 total. In the previous two games, both of those in Denver, Denver had a couple nice wins. They are the hottest team since the All-Star break. Dallas has been a little cooler here as of late, especially first quarter and first halves. It's been pretty brutal. Like, we're talking like 4-11, like their last 15 first quarters. So we do like the Nuggets here, only laying 4 today. Line's pretty tight on that one. We do like Lucas here as well. We like quite a few player props as well. So let's get into those. So we did take the Nuggets -1.5 first quarter, -2 first half, -4 for the game. Luka over 32.5 points, 35-plus points, 4-plus threes, 5-plus threes, over 52.5 par, and over 3.5 turnovers. And then Jokic over 27.5 points, 30-plus points, over 12.5 rebounds. We'll also sprinkle a little bit on 16-plus rebounds. And then Jokic over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in that Nuggets-Mavs matchup. Nuggets -1.5 first quarter, -2 in the first half, -4 for the game. Luka over 32.5 points, 35-plus points, 4-plus threes, 5-plus threes. And then we've got, Luka over 52.5 par. Luka over 3.5 turnovers. Jokic, we like over 2.5 turnovers. Over 12.5 rebounds, 16-plus rebounds, over 27.5 points, and then 30-plus points in that matchup there. Next game up, Celtics at the Wizards. This line's going to get out of control before too long, I'm sure. 3:10 out here in Phoenix, so 6:10 Eastern time. There were no player props really available on this game, so we just have the Celtics so far. But I've mentioned this a couple times already in the show. Do make sure you go back and check out our Google Sheets at the end of every show that we do. There will be a link in the comment section that says docs.google.spreadsheet, a bunch of other stuff behind it. That is it'll get you a link in there. Pick basketball if you're following along with this basketball here. There are multiple sports tabs in there. So basketball, scroll down to today's date, March 17th. You'll be able to look and see all the updated bets there. But it's a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed, and then also what book we placed them at, then obviously the result once we're all finished. So do make sure you check that out. But we did take the Celtics, like I mentioned, just in the game so far, as there were no player props available. So Celtics -3.5 first quarter, -7 first half, and -11.5 for the game. One more time, Celtics -3.5 first quarter, -7 first half, and -11.5 for the game. Next game up, Raptors, Magic in Orlando. Orlando, 11.5 point favorite. This is a back-to-back with Toronto, except this game's moving to Orlando. Orlando didn't play fantastic in the last one, but it really makes a huge difference when Jalen Suggs is in the lineup for the Magic versus Cole Anthony. I don't know what, and Markelle Fultz. I understand those guys have to play, but I don't understand why so much time. When he's hitting threes, which he seems to be their most consistent three-point shooter, this offense looks totally different for the Magic. Now, the Raptors are so many injuries, it's absolutely ridiculous. Gary Trent had a monster game the last game, quickly only scored 10 points, and he's been fabulous. RJ Barrett's, I guess, younger brother did pass away. The condolences go out to the Barrett family on that one. He's out today. This should be, I mean, you would think this game should pretty much be a cakewalk for the Magic. I promise you it's going to be one of those games that's not going to be, the Magic have trouble putting teams away when double-digit favorite for some reason, but we're staying away from the side and the total in this one. We do like a lot of player props in this game. They will be focused around Suggs and Carter. So let's get into that. Jalen Suggs over 12.5 points. Suggs 15-plus points, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes. Wendell Carter over 12.5 points, over 24.5 par. That's points, assists, rebounds combined. Wendell Carter 10-plus rebounds and 12-plus rebounds. We also like Banchero today to get quite a few assists, so we'll take him for 6+ assists. And Emmanuel quickly for the Raptors over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in this Magic and Raptors matchup. Suggs, 13+ points, 15+ points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes. Wendell Carter, 13+ points, 25+ par, 10+ rebounds, 12+ rebounds. Banchero, 6+ assists. Quickly, 3+ turnovers in that matchup there. Next game up, we'll go to 4:10. Do apologize there. 4:10 out here in Phoenix, to 7:10 Eastern time. The Nets coming off a back-to-back game, going to San Antonio against the Spurs. Spurs actually a favorite. That doesn't happen very often. I think it's only been 4 or 5 times this season. They're a 1.5 point favorite, 218 total. Wemby's had a couple of scoring games that were off for Wemby, let's be honest. Also, defensively, he did not get his patented 4 or 5 blocks here as of late. Maybe just a couple blips on the screen. I don't think it's a trend as of yet. We expect Wemby to kind of get back with it today. And we do expect the Nets to do what they do, which is look pretty decent against the Pistons for a half, then completely fall apart, then come back the next game and lay a total turd. So we will take the Spurs -0.5 first quarter, -0.5 first half, -1.5 for the game. Wemby over 21.5 points, 25+ points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, 12+ rebounds, 38+ par, 4+ blocks, and 4+ turnovers. And that's Spurs and Nets matchup. So one more time, Spurs -0.5 first quarter, -0.5 first half, -1.5 for the game. Then Wemby, 22+ points, 25+ points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, 12+ rebounds, 38+ par, 4+ blocks, and 4+ turnovers. So a lot of Wemby, to say the least, in that particular matchup there. Last game on the board for the day, Hawks at the Clippers. This line's bounced around 9, 9.5, 10. Looks like it's a couple books moved it to 10 already. The Hawks, DeJounte Murray, if you haven't paid attention for the last couple weeks since Jalen Johnson's been out and Trae Young's been out, DeJounte Murray's been putting up monster numbers. And James Harden's been out the last couple games for the Clippers. They've kind of been, I don't know, back and forth might be the best way to put it. Like, they look good in a quarter, they look poor in a quarter. You can't seem to put can't put a full game together on that one. Clippers are a 10-point favorite at home, 221 total. We're going to stay away from the side and the total, and now this might be one we go back to, but we're going to basically focus on a couple players here. So if James Harden plays, over 2.5 turnovers is on the board. We will take over 2.5 turnovers with Harden, and the rest of it's going to rely on DeJounte Murray. So 25+ points, for Murray, 30-plus points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and then DeJounte Murray over 37.5 par. So one more time in that Clippers-Hawks matchup, Harden over 2.5 turnovers, Murray 25-plus points, 30-plus points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, and 5+ threes, and then also over 37.5 par. So I know I've mentioned this a couple times before throughout the show. Do make sure you check out at the end of every episode that we do, there will be a link to our Google Sheets. This is a ledger of all of our bets, how many, what the bet is, how many units we placed on it, what juice we got it at, and then also what book we placed that at, and then when the games are over, the results. So when you get into the Google Sheets, there are multiple sports. So there's going to be a couple years of football if you ever wanted to look back at those, a couple years of baseball, basketball that we just went through. Then also there's like a non-mainstream sports like golf, Formula One, UFC, things like that will be in that separate tab over there. So do make sure you check those out when you do get some time. And as always, if you could how about subscribe and turn notifications on to our YouTube channel. So when we drop a new episode of bets, you get those first. Gives you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.